Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, man, that was weird. Felt like I was floating around in space for an eternity and simultaneously only a few seconds. I might have met God, although I'm not 100% sure, but hey, it's best to be back doing what we're doing. Wow, Kubo, these characters just keep getting weirder as this story progresses. Nah, I'm kidding you. This is the new series. Shinigami are dead. Superheroes are where it's at now. Well, not these kind of superheroes, because I don't really know a lot about these kind of superheroes, but these superheroes... Shit. These superheroes are what we're talking about. That's right. My Hero Academia, bitches. If you don't like it, you can get out. Go to the new intro. I don't think it's done yet. Next week. It'll be done next week. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so this will be chapter number 105 review of My Hero Academia, titled Shiketsu High Creeps Up. Yeah, I bet they're getting creepy for sure, especially that kid that likes to bleed. Yeah, I don't trust that guy. Anyway, so chapter opens up with, oh, Chaco! Yes! Good! You picked the perfect time to show up, Chica. This is my first review. This is perfect. Now look, guys, this is my first review of this series, so you're gonna have to get all caught up on which characters I like and don't like. We'll make that journey together, don't worry. But if you just need a quick reference guide, Ochaku is the new Rukia, Tokoyami's the new Uryu, and Izuku is... I haven't figured out a place for Izuku yet. He's Momo right now until we can fit him into a new slot, but... yeah, alright. Alright, so Ochaku's recovering after Shindao used his, he made an earthquake last chapter with his shake-up quirk. I don't know what the insurance is like on this building, but goddamn, they're gonna have to, their premiums are gonna go way up after this. You're literally throwing a bunch of teenagers with souped-up superpowers into a room together and just being like, yeah, go fucking crazy. But yeah, she's recovering. She's trying to figure out, like, alright, we have to try to figure out a way to regroup now that we've all been separated. Typical shonen shit going on here. It's like, oh, okay, we're all in a big group, so now we have to be separated and go through our sequential battles. Not the first time this has gone down, but she decides to use her new super secret technique in order to find her, sneak around to rejoin with all of her other friends. Sneak Uravity, which I'm assuming that just uses her zero gravity powers to, make it so, like, maybe the rubble doesn't, crumble or shift. It just kind of floats a little bit off the ground, maybe maybe making herself float a little bit, just to, like, minimize as much sound as possible so she can get to another place. So we cut back over to Izuku fighting against, Shiketsu girl. I don't believe we've gotten her name yet. But yeah, she snuck up on Izuku apparently out of nowhere last chapter and tagged him with one of her balls. It's a new series and we're already making ball jokes. Look, it's the worst place for me to start if we're not going to make ball jokes, okay? This shit was going to happen eventually, no matter when I started it, but, it's the chapter where they're literally chucking balls at each other. I mean, come on! Anyway, she goes on rambling about how she wants to learn about all the kids from UA and blah blah blah. Izuku's retort to that is like, man, you sure love to talk, don't ya? I know, right? The characters in this series actually have stuff to say. Weird, huh? Okay, Deku, listen up. This is your time to shine, man. And I'm not just talking about the new costume, because who gives a shit about that? No. You're standing there, minding your own business, and then this random chick popped out of nowhere and tagged you with one of her balls, but you kept a straight face. So now you gotta see how that's gonna play out against this girl. Actually, I guess we have to come up with a name for her, since we don't know it. I don't know. She has the bodysuit revealing cleavage and, like, the military cap on that's, like, all the members of the Shiketsu High, have that, like, military cap. I don't know. She seems like she's kind of going with the Esdeath look, but, look, I'm sure she could do some pretty amazing things, but, girl, you ain't no Esdeath. Ooh, no. Right, so she tosses a ball. Izuku uses his newfound control over his legs to activate full cal and avoid it. He begins to disengage it right at the same time, too, so he's getting a lot better control of how this works. Really, I'm glad Deku is finally working on something else other than just physical strength, because for the bulk of this story, his goal for his powers was basically, how can I punch something really hard without it breaking my arms? And we're finally getting to the point where it's like, hey, maybe with this quirk that's, all so multifaceted and given me all the powers of all the different people that have had it beforehand, maybe I can do something other than punching. So that's good, Deku, you're working on that. Anyway, she disappears again, to which she appears right next to him and then tries to tag him with another ball. Izuku's reflexes are a little bit more adept here. I don't know if he still has full Kyle activated, maybe he has like the remnants of it a little bit, because this shit's like instantaneous. She throws the ball, he's like, alright, I'm gonna avoid this. Ping shows up behind her, and then he spins around and manages to dodge it a second time in a row and falls back. And it's right at this moment that he decides, like, all right, I'm gonna be chased like a freaking chicken with its head cut off right now. She's just gonna keep trying to appear behind me and fake me out. So I gotta do this shit right now. I gotta launch a counterattack. Damn straight, Deku. Here we go. He rears back, ready to toss, and she's gone again. Okay, is freaking Shiketsu High a ninja school or something? Oh, no, not that kind of ninja school, this kind of ninja school. Yeah, right, but if that's a ninja school, then why can I still see them? Oh, well, those are the freshmen. Yeah, so they got a lot to learn. Oh, okay, makes sense. Oh, for new viewers, I'm Law Tekking. How you doing? Ow, you're bending it, you're bending it. Bending what? My arm. Yeah, you're bending my arm. Please stop. That hurts. So after she has him pinned, she goes on to explain that what she was doing, all the different times she disappeared, that wasn't the hang of any quirk or anything. That was just straight up training. She explains that one of the things you learn at Shiketsu High are classes on how to conceal yourself, how to survive in the battlefield without quirks. And I'm just sitting there thinking, my God, that makes so much sense. It really does. All at UA they really teach you is just like traditional schooling, like math and English and shit, and then it's right to the superhero stuff. But if you really think about it, having skills other than things that are catered specifically to your quirk are actually really vital in combat. So all she was doing all those times is apparently what she was saying is she's holds her breath and then just conceals herself without thinking. And she explains that's the difficult part, doing it without thinking. But it's sort of like a ninja school, I guess. If you've done it enough times, you're just pretty good at finding a place to hide and, taking your opponent off guard. So some really clever shit. So she keeps going on and on about this, and then she gets to the real crux of the issue, what she really wants to ask Deku. My turn now. So what is your motivation for becoming a hero? Honor? Pride? What exactly are you doing it for? But first, do you want me to touch you with my balls? What? Oh, jeez! Oh my God! It's the spider mole! I should have known that after our tussle in Albuquerque he wasn't done with me yet. You're going down, you subterranean son of a bitch! No, it's not the spider mole. It's a bunch of the other students from the exam that are not affiliated with UA that arrive at the scene. They're also not members of Shiketsu because they're looking at the girl and they're like, oh, someone from UA and someone from Shiketsu. Ooh, this could be trouble here. So they're all just figuring out a way, a plan of attack, basically. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna go with strategy Alpha Omega Sigma. Yeah, you're right. Let's rip off his arm and beat him to death with it. Yeah! Oh, goddamn, Mark. Tone it down a bit. Damn. What kind of shonen action manga just mutilates arms like that? This isn't a freaking seinen. We just bum rush the sons of bitches. Right, so we have like 8 or 9 students that just unleash all their quirks in like a massive wave at Deku and Diet Esdeath, and they just, unleash, go crazy. So some of them clearly have, quirks that are a little bit, boring. This one guy looks like he can just stretch his fingers. This other guy looks like he has like the ability to levitate the rubble around him. But then we get to this kid. Oh, we have the spider kid too, but we also have this kid. This kid who's riding around on a toy truck playing with like, looks like a Gundam and like a miniature airplane. And then from one of the attacks we see a bunch of these little shark toy things, look like they're straight out of Super Mario Brothers, reach up and try to attack Deku and the Shiketsu girl, so we can assume that's his quirk. I want to find out what the hell's the deal with this kid, because if it's like to bring toys to life, then that's the one prime superpower that everybody that under the age of 8 wanted. Damn, that's OP. I mean, seriously, give me a Megazord, this shit is set. Locked down. Right, so in the process of getting knocked around, I guess the Shiketsu girl gets, separated from Deku, and she goes off and does her little ninja things, whatever. Deku's about to, fall to the ground when he notices that Uraraka appears. Yes! Ochaku's back, yes! Oh man, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be like a tag team battle. Gonna wipe the floor with these sons of bitches. Right, so she appears, and Deku's trying to figure out, like, oh, okay, she's here, so that means she must have figured out a plan, a strategy or something. She would just come rushing in, right? So, she reaches out to Deku, but before she can, all the other students just, try to rush her and attack her in the process. They notice that she was there. She's not using her floating abilities for some reason, whatever. That must mean she has a master plan. Maybe lull them into a false sense of security, and then when they're all, like, attacking her really close quarters, she, like, sends them to the freaking moon or something. By the way, this is something I'm going to bring up now, because if I didn't, I was going to bring it up at some point, so I might as well get it out of the way with the first review. Is anyone else disturbed by the fact that a teenage girl has the power to literally fuck the laws of physics right in the ear? Like, anybody? Like, she could just, like, yeah, gravity? No, that's not a thing anymore. A little bit OP. Just a bit. I mean, I'll give you a pass because I like you, but otherwise, no. But no, all the rubble gets destroyed in the process, and she begins to fall, and she doesn't try to float or something. I don't know what's going on. One of the other students uses his hand detachment quirk, whatever, to go and attack her, or, you know, reach out to plant a ball on her or whatever. Deku, in the meanwhile, you know, he's still, I guess, in the process of falling or just hitting the ground after all the bum rush attacks. So he's looking at it, and he's just trying, he's remembering back at the certain times where, you know, it's like if he would have only just been a little bit better, a little bit faster, he would have been able to save everybody, you know, just like a half step more. So obviously he's been working on his speed, right? Like that was the whole point. You know, focus more on my legs instead of my arms, get the new outfit get made by Hatsumi, have Ida teach you a little bit about how, you know, how to move with this kind of armor and shit on. So Deku finally realizes, right, this is my thing to go. So he goes to reach out for Uraraka. He catches her. Yes! And the OTP lives on! Then Deku goes on to explain exactly how his new costumes and enhancements work with his quirk, One for All. So basically, whenever he kicks something with his foot, with the iron-soled feet, I guess they're, you know, UA was in conjunction with Hyrulean technology there, but whenever he kicks something, there's like a blowback feature which causes the object to be destroyed whenever he kicks it. So that adds to it, you know, he could probably kick, you know, a pretty sturdy substance and manage to break it without even using his quirk, honestly, but with One for All, that just makes it more impactful. So in Deku's words, it's not a bang, it's more like a bang bang. Yeah, that's really technical terms there, Deku, but whatever. It's the middle of the battle. I'm not expecting you to be very eloquent here. I don't even know why you're thinking about this, all honestly. Get on the freaking wagon here, Deku. You're being surrounded. And with this, Deku activates his new technique, which is basically Falcon Kick. Nothing against you, Tokoyami Fumikage. Okay, I gotta ask you guys right now, is he supposed to be a hawk, an eagle, a falcon? Like, I'm getting mixed signals here, right? This is the question I've had for a while. Right, so after using the Falcon Kick attack, Deku and Uraraka managed to escape. They're hiding behind a piece of rubble. Uraraka is, of course, thanking him for, you know, saving her, to which Deku seems a little bit removed by all this. I mean, granted, he's in the middle of, you know, trying to figure out, you know, I'm gonna make sure no one else, you know, creeps up on me here. This place is freaking surrounded and there's just rubble everywhere, but being a little bit too submissive there, Deku. I mean, how's this shit gonna happen if you're not engaged? Get with the program, dude. Well, it seems Uraraka's on the program because she's very calmly staring at Deku, a little bit more creepily than usual. Actually, really kind of creepily. Damn, Uraraka, are you going full yandere on me? Oh man, don't do it! Don't do it! Oh, damn, you look creepy right now! He can be yours forever, Ochaku. He can be yours forever. Just grab him and snap his neck. Now, I honestly have to say that I didn't give a lot of credit to Ochaku here. For a minute there, even despite all the shit they've been through, part of me still thought that, you know, she's standing there, Deku's right in front of him, all she has to do is tag him with one of her balls, and I thought, yeah, that would have been fine. That makes sense in the context of the battle, but I need to slap myself for that. I didn't have faith in her. I'm sorry, okay? Whatever, Deku figures it out immediately. He's just like, you couldn't be someone from Shiketsu, could you? Of course, she tries to play the oblivious act, like, no, I'm not. What are you even doing? No, of course, I'm your friend, Ochaku. Yeah, of course. Right then, so it comes to the fact that Izuku utilizes his keen intellect and detective skills and his intimate knowledge of Ochaku to determine that, in fact, she would never arrive on such a battlefield with no plan, and that she would never be caught off guard by the enemy in such a way. Also, the fact she didn't use her fucking quirk is kind of a dead giveaway, but, you know, the other things, yeah, that accounts for it too. Sure. Yeah, sure. to which then she begins to melt like the fucking Wicked Witch of the West. Not just her outfit, but her face as well. The whole thing just begins to go bubbling away. Deku is not intimidated by this in the slightest. He's just, you know, very sternly, I'm just like, oh, I knew it, bitch. And then after all the slime and gunk begin to wear off, we see that it's actually Shiketsu girl, Diet Esdeath, who I guess escaped after the first attack and then camouflaged herself with her quirk. Maybe she's able to use, I don't know, the rubble or the mud around her to construct like a you know, whatever costume she wants. Actually, that's odd enough because we've had now 2 characters this week that showed that they had powers where they could, you know, camouflage themselves or create like copies of themselves or a whole other people over them, with Cracker in One Piece and Shiketsu chick here in My Hero Academia. Weird. Anyway, she pops out of the slime and strikes the very creepy look as she always had, like, I want you to tell me more about yourself. Okay, maybe you guys could go on a, you know, brief lunch date, maybe a speed date, see if something clicks, see if something works out. You know, it's worth a shot. You're kids, you deserve free time. Deku, however, is just, oh, now he breaks. Really? Really, you just turned around and you saw the fact that all the shit you had to deal with in last chapter, Ninja Girl, and now, you know, being bum rushed by all these other students and impostor Ochaku, and then when she's like, I want to get to know you better, but she says it all slimy and gooey, that's the point that Izuku breaks. He's just like, can this please wait until later? I don't know, maybe he just has a raging boner. Some people are into slime girls, I don't know, that's a really popular thing in Japan, I don't know, that's why Sue's a thing. Right, so that's the end of the chapter. As for the next chapter, I'm going to say we're going to continue this fight with Shiketsu Girl and Deku. I don't really see us cutting away, although at some point I do think we're going to, you know, cut away to different fights and see what's going on. Not with every member of the class. I'm assuming that a decent chunk of them are going to, considering that there's only a limited number of people that can pass to begin with, and one of those slots has already been taken by Yasuyama, I think, or Yaoyama, one of the kid with the wind giant costume quirk. But at the moment, I think we're just going to cut away and see like a bunch of them defeated at some point. But we're still probably going to focus, of course, on a few. Bakugo, Todoroki's going to be a good one. But I'm not really sure who else will survive this trial. Also, I was thinking maybe possibly. I don't know if we're going to do this because we just came off of a big arc, you know, featuring villains and everything. If we were going to have another, like, big, huge interruption during the trial, the provisional license exam trial. Because remember, this is kind of like Chunin exams in Naruto a little bit, where it's like once you become a Chunin, you know, more shit crazy happens. But then that whole process was interrupted by the sand attacking the village. So I don't know if that's going to be something like this. Because there's 2 paths. Oh, actually, there's 3. Path number 1 is where Izuku ends up passing the exam and getting his provisional license. Okay, cool, but then that opens up a whole other world of possibilities. And then the second one is he doesn't get the pass. He doesn't, you know, nothing happens in the trial, but he ends up not passing and he just stays where he is. That's fine too, because that'll give us, you know, more of a drive to get better for next year. And then the third one is that, you know, there's a big interruption, something that stops the entire trial altogether. So I don't know what you guys think is going to happen, who's going to survive the trial, which ones of the UA kids are going to be the ones to survive. Leave your comments below. Also, I should say to share this video. I don't normally have to say that because for years I was known as the Bleach guy, so there was no real reason for me to share it because everyone that liked Bleach, you know, you found me at some point. But in this case, I would say, you know, if you're a fan of My Hero Academia and you know people that are fans of My Hero Academia, share it around, get it out there, get my name be known, let it be known from the highest mountaintop. Son of a bitch, I just put that up!